Hi guys, Brian from Pigment here today, and I'm going to be coloring something from the Marvel collection in Pigment. I chose to color Hulk because he's one of my faves, and I think this is just a really wicked cool picture. It's just so comic book style, and I just have a lot of fun coloring stuff like this. So let's get started. Besides that, I mean, it's going to be pretty straightforward. I'm going to be coloring this a lot with the marker tool. So I'm going to grab that marker tool right now. I love the marker tool because it has a lot of versatility. And the reason why I'm not just filling is because I find when you actually do the strokes with the marker tool, you get like this faded kind of like look. I'm probably gonna have to put it on freehand mode just to kind of get around all those little like choppy areas there. So we're just gonna fill in the Hulk, and it doesn't have to be filled perfectly because I'm gonna be layering him. And I'm not too worried about going into these other characters here. That's fine. Or going out of the lines, that's fine too. He is the main part of the picture, so I just want to make sure that I get him looking the way that I want him to, and then I can fill some of the other characters, no problem. It's almost kind of hard to see like where everything is in this kind of illustration, but it's like such a cool way of having an illustration. I really like how it's like very comic book style. Okay, so then I'm going to go to the screen. Now I'm going to lower the opacity, and I'm just going to kind of put, actually I want it even lower, and I'm just going to put it in places. It's almost like I try to almost duplicate the effect. I don't know if anyone's ever colored with pro markers or Copic markers. That's kind of the look I'm gonna go for when coloring this. So I'm just going to get in there. And I'm not, you can tell I'm not being neat with it. I am just kind of getting it in there because I want like that choppy marker look. Not like too bad, that's why I have the opacity down, but just enough to kind of give it some visual interest. And then I'm going to use the dark on the same opacity. I'm going to deepen this green, and I'm just going to darken some of the areas here, like around the shoulder and the elbow line down here. I guess his arm goes all the way down here. I'm not 100% sure. I'll figure it out. So I'm just shading now, but I'm still using the marker tool to shade and kind of mixing up those greens. The Hulk is green after all, right? They remade the movies and stuff so much now. I think everybody has their own favorite actor. So now I'm just trying to highlight the skin up here, or I'm highlighting the skin up here and deepening it in parts as well, shading around the hairline, around the jawline, kind of keeping it highlighted on this part too. I'm going to use this even brighter green to do more vivid highlights, because it's almost like when he goes green, he's like glowing green, like he is upset. And that's why I love doing like the comic book style with like the actual traditional marker. I find the effect you get, it's just awesome. It feels like you're coloring with real markers, and I think that's so cool because markers fit coloring this type of stuff like really, really well. So yeah, I'm just kind of getting that highlight in there. So I'm just kind of zooming in, getting up close, and then getting my highlight, my green monster highlight in there. And I don't mind if it's choppy. That is absolutely 100% fine if it's a bit choppy. It all attributes to the look. And I might blur some of it out anyways if I feel like it needs to be a little bit on the smoother side. So I'm just gonna actually go over his veins and make his veins kind of pop. He looks hulkified. I'm going to be using the marker for a lot of this just to kind of show what you can do with it and like the different looks you can achieve. So now I'm just kind of highlighting his abs because Hulk is ripped. Skinny when he's not mad, but when he's ripped, I mean, when he's mad, he's ripped. That's why you shouldn't get Hulk mad. I love the collab movies too, like the ones where they all like are together and stuff, and it's not just the one character, but they're all playing characters together, and those are actually some of my favorites. I need a darker green. Let's go to this autumn. I'm using my palettes that I've made just for fun. I'm gonna bring up the opacity, brush size. I just want a little bit of a darker green. Do a little bit of darker shading here. So I'm kind of just mixing these highlights and then the shading and just trying to get the right balance to get the right look that I want, which is more like a marker inspired coloring. So I'm pretty sure that's how they did it back in the day. They all colored everything with marker. That's, I think, a lot how Copics and all those expensive markers got so much credit because they make such cool effects. Been actually wanting to get a new set of them for a while. Really, really awesome and fun to color with. I already have my fair share of colored pencils. Yeah, this is a good green to have. Perfect. Yeah, lime green. Hulk it up. So I'm just layering all these different colors of green to try and get like a cool effect. He's got someone dangling over his body that we're gonna have to color here. Still mixing greens. Hulk is mad. But you see the cool effect that it's kind of making? It's like a little bit choppy, but once all the other components of the picture start to come together, it'll really you'll see how it kind of all comes together. It's always hard to see sometimes when you're coloring and putting something or doing a project. Sometimes it has to look a little funky for it kind of gets to where you want it to go. Do this dark green. I'm gonna make his hair like a darker green. Erase the opacity here. Just kind of put a little bit of highlighting in it. And I think I'm gonna leave the Hulk for now until I can figure out kind of get the rest of the picture kind of going here. But I did want to do a good portion of him and get those details. And I'm not making his teeth uber white because, well, let's face it, he's a green monster right now. So they're kind of like a limey, greeny sort of thing going on here. A little bit of highlighting on the later side. And you can even do some highlighting in white if you want to, just to get that even more of a comic book look, because it gives you like that edgy kind of just going to do a little bit more highlighting and then we'll move on. I'm feeling it right now, so, and then we'll get on to the rest of the picture. I'm just going to get in his eyes here. Blending his teeth shadow in a bit. It's not so dark. I think it's looking pretty good so far. So yeah, let's move on to the other characters and try to get this unfolded a little bit here. So for the other characters, I am going to use the marker tool, but I'm going to fill first. I might even use pillow fill just to get some built-in shading easily and quickly. Pillow fill is great for that. I'm sure anyone who's tried it knows that it's great for that added texture, and wherever you tap has to be kind of somewhat strategic because that's where your shading is always going to end up on the outer area of your shading. So that being said, going to continue on with that. Okay, so that's the Hulk there. Well, he comes all the way around. Okay. I'm gonna need my marker tool for a second here, just so I need to visualize what I'm doing. So I'm gonna just color in this area so I know that it's Hulk. Probably shadow it up a little bit more and whatnot. Just for now, simple fill, a couple layers of colors, and okay, so how does this jacket go? So I'm going to go back to my pillow fill, and I'm just going to start filling. The thing with these comic book, they have like little areas that you sometimes have to get into, but that's fine. It's not a big deal. Okay, so that's the girl. And then Hulk's pants be like a dark grayish type color, I guess. Actually, you know what? Scrap that. He always has like these like horribly ripped jeans, I find. So I'm gonna just put the blue down, and then I'll go in with the marker tool and kind of okay, now we can finish filling the guy here. I'm just gonna go grab a couple colors. I really like the Summer Fantasy for quick skin. I'm just gonna go to my marker tool and freehand-it. It would probably take less time. I'm trying to fill every little space. And then for his beard, that's why this marker style looks so good with these pictures, because very jagged, like rough kind of edges, and it just really suits the style. So I'm just coloring in the beard. A little bit of highlight and detail to the beard. Doesn't need to be crazy. I'll just fix up this nose here. Bit of detailing under the eyes. So I challenge you guys to color a whole kind of comic book piece like this, well, you can use other tools too, but try doing the majority of it with a marker and see what kind of results you get. See if you like it. See if you get the hang of kind of getting that cool look with the marker. It almost becomes like another like skill to be able to highlight the right areas and just kind of get it looking the way you want it to look. Okay, so his skin actually looks pretty good. I'm just gonna do his hair now, and I think I'm just gonna use that same brown and just darken it up. No, let's switch up the brown. It looks too much the same shades going on in the same area. I'll go with this brown. I'm just playing around with the color. Feel I'm happy with it. I just like adding a little bit of highlight to everything when I'm using the marker. I just find it just gives it that extra little oomph. And speaking of which, since I have some good jean colors here, I'm going to bring down my opacity because this blue is much too dark for the kind of denim look that I'm going for. But that dark blue does look good layered. So I'm just going to get in my distressed kind of jean colors here. And I'm just going to, I need a different kind of blue here. No, that's not it. There we go. It's like the dark denim rugged color I wanted. And a little bit of that blue in the other blue in the background isn't a bad thing. Cool. So he's pretty much almost done, minus the dead robot or whatever that's slung over him. Go down here. Freehand, just so I can get in those areas easily. And go to freehand, just all these little areas. It's just so much easier, I find, to go to the freehand and try to click them all, and it can get very frustrating trying to get all those little spots, keep on missing them. So I just cut to the chase. But whatever makes you more comfortable, you go for it. No right or wrong way to color. There's just different preferences. And there's definitely tips and tricks that can help people coloring. But there's no right or wrong way. Creation is creation. It's all about having fun. So now I'm just using my recently used colors to kind of get him all colored up here. Okay, so I'm going to continue on. All I've used so far is the marker tool and the pillow fill just to get my base colors down. And that's all I've used so far, 2 tools. I'm just mixing. That's why marker is cool to use, like I said, because it layers really nicely. You can get, and you have to play with the opacity to get that right kind of layered look. So don't be afraid to move your opacity up and down often. It will help you achieve the look that you're going for if you like this look. So now I want more saturated, so I'm going to move it up a bit. I'm just getting his hands colored. So I just add like these lines, like you don't even have to color it in all the way because you get like this, like I said, the choppy look, and that's totally 100% what I'm going for. So like right now I'm gonna bring up my brush size, lower my opacity, and I'm just gonna get in some like lighter kind of highlights with a different shade of brown through the jacket, and I'm gonna deepen it to get with different colors to get a more shaded area in certain parts. And that's like the whole reason that I went for the marker to color this. See, it's getting like a layered effect. You're getting the highlight, you're getting the look. Yeah, he definitely looks like a mercenary, that's for sure. Just trying to see. That is his jacket there too, isn't it? Really opacity. If this is his jacket here. And these are his pants too. Can see it better now that I'm coloring them. Oh yeah, there we go. It makes more sense. Yeah. Cool. He's looking pretty awesome, actually. I would like the way this guy's turning out. I'm going to color his weapon now. I'm going to use the metals. You don't have to use the metals. I mean, there's grays that are very similar. Just going to go on automatic mode here. That's his jacket, that's his jacket. Here. As you color, you kind of see. I think I'm actually going to use more gray and blacks because everything's kind of brown. I want it to look more. I want you be able to stand out a little bit because everything's too much the same color right now over here. Can definitely leave some of that color in here. I was just trying to color match this. So I can just get under here. Bring down the opacity. Just kind of work in this green that I didn't really work in over here a little bit more. Same with over here. Now we can color her in. Gonna pick a different shade of skin tone for her. She kind of looks like she has chopped face a bit here, looking a bit rugged. So might give her like a Two-Face type. When you're using the marker, just kind of be aware of which direction you're using it in, because it has a very like angled tip, like the way that it is. Like for instance, if I go like that, then it looks like that, but if I go down, it's a little bit more of a sharper edge. So you'll notice that as you're using the marker tool. And opacity really makes a difference in the effect that you'll get with it, for sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. Especially if you want those layers of color, which I'm trying to get kind of right now. Because this girl definitely looks like she's been through battle. I'm just blending and moving these colors back and forth. I'm not giving her like a crazy beautiful lip color or nothing. She's just going to be very rugged. And for good reason. She seems like she looks very rugged. Been through battle. Okay, and I'm going to color in her jacket. I'll just do it maybe this purple, bring the opacity up, automatic mode. Just kind of get this jacket, maybe freehand, so I don't have any interruption. And I'm just layering the blue and another kind of purple on top with different opacities. See the difference that you get just by changing the opacity? You go from barely any coverage to full coverage instantly. Okay. We're getting there anyway. We are getting there. I'm actually really liking the way it's turning out. I think it's looking very the style I had intended. So I'm very pleased with that. I might use a couple other tools. I know I said challenge with the marker, but just for the background, I might use a couple of illumination type tools. We'll see. But for the overall coloring of the characters, it's going to be, as you can see, marker and the pillow fill. So now her hair, speaking of the pillow fill, I'm going to fill her hair now. Maybe like, yeah, like this color. Definitely matches what's going on with her face, which is a good thing. I'm gonna need to use the marker to fill in the spot. A little bit of a bleed here. See these little spots is what I mean, these little ones, but they're not really that bad to take care of. You just gotta zoom in. There we go, hitting the eraser button again. We are getting there, slowly but surely. Okay, it's coming, it's coming. Back to the pillow fill. If you really wanted to make this a one tool challenge, you could. I don't need to be using the pillow fill to do this. I could freehand this. It's just a lot quicker to use this, especially in small little detailed areas like this, like the hair. Just helps kind of get it going faster. It's making me want to watch some movies. Fix that after. Okay. Now I just want to grab my marker and fix this because this is not, this should be part of the jacket, and it looks like it's same color as the hair. Very simple, small mistake, but still stuff that bothers me that if I can, I will fix it. Couple of random highlights to the jacket. I'm gonna have to go over the hair in some spots. So I'm on freehand, that's exactly what I want. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of shading in areas here. Actually, maybe I'll put it on automatic since it's at the hairline, just so I don't go into the Hulk. I'm just gonna add a little bit of darker shades in areas. And then I'm gonna add, this is where I'm gonna want to have freehand. And then I'm gonna add some highlights. I just gotta figure out the right color and the right opacity. Okay, I'm gonna go back to automatic mode. Just gonna blend it out a bit. Okay, so she looks pretty good too. We're moving along, moving along. Now I'm going to do the background, and I'm thinking about continuing on with the pillow. I'm just kind of framing it in a little bit with a darker color. And then I'm gonna do the same up here, but I'm gonna do light effects up here at some point as well. So for now, I'm just gonna fill most of the background in with this dark indigo type blue. I'm just gonna color it in so it's a little bit easier. Okay. Now I'm going to color in this robot dude. That's what he is a robot. And Gonna go to, he's either a robot or he's missing his head, but either or, he ain't in good shape. So I'm going to actually use a different fill. Just gonna use the metallic fill on a deep kind of color here. I'm gonna have to go over it with marker. That brown. Just getting them filled in quick, and then I'll do some little adjustments here. Some of these little spots that I'm hitting, you could actually leave them white and it'll look like sheen. You can leave it, and I think they kind of do that sometimes to help you highlight, but I am going to do my own kind of highlights and stuff here. So you decide which is faster. If you see I'm taking the time to actually fill in the spots, or you could go freehand mode and color them all in that way, whatever you think is quickest, or whatever which way you prefer and think is fun, more fun. So I'm going to go back to my marker. I'm going to bring down, I'm going to put it on, it is on freehand mode. Okay, good. And I'm just going to start adding, you can't even really, like the metallic, because I chose such a dark color, you can't really tell the effect too much of the metallic, but that's fine. I just wanted to try something different, and not a big deal. I'm still reverting back to the marker tool. Just wanted to see how kind of would work the metal fill. And you can add some last minute kind of highlights here. Then we got to do our background after I finish this dude. Yeah, I think it's a robot. From looking at it up close, it definitely seems like robot anatomy. Could be wrong. Okay, so we got some highlights in there. I'm gonna grab a green, and I'm just gonna touch up the Hulk here now that I can really see what I'm working with and everything's colored. Just gonna add couple more. No, I need a bigger. I've got to find that sweet size here. So I'm just kind of going over the veins, kind of fixing up some of the areas here. Adding some more green, different green. And then I'm going to go actually grab this green here. Just some last minute kind of shading and detail and kind of playing with the greens a little bit more here. I knew I was going to come back and kind of touch him up a bit because I just kind of put these colors in before seeing the whole picture. Okay, now I'm going to do a little bit of lighting, I think, in the background. I'm going to need freehand mode for this. And I'm just going to try. I don't know if I'm going to keep. I'm going to go bloom. And I just want to try and get some lighting kind of effect in here. And then I'll go to my laser tool. And I'm just going to add some highlights around his shoulders and face. And arm, wherever that light seems to be hitting, around this robot a bit. And then I'm just going to grab my black and I'm going to go to my airbrush tool. So I'm definitely using more than just marker, but I used marker for the characters. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of shading here with the black. Kind of get like this framing happening. And I'm just going to a couple maybe more highlights to their skin. Just fixing it up a little bit here. using the airbrush just to have a little bit more control. A little more control of my highlights that I made. Go up here, a couple. I'm just getting a couple extra added things in here because I love the marker and I love the look, but it's just hard to have the control for precise shading. If you want it, you don't have to. I mean, it looks good the way it looked good the way it was, but it's just me seeing that I can kind of switch things up and get them the way I had in mind. And I don't think I'm going to fuss with it too much more than that, other than I would like to just fix up this area back here. And then I might grab this brighter yellow and I might grab the plasma. I just want to try something. Oops. Need on freehand. Okay, that's good. I'm just kind of like making a sun in the background with the plasma. So that's what's giving like the light reflection. It's basically all I'm doing. And then I'm just gonna color in a little bit more of a light reflection on the arm with the laser tool. And then I'm just going to grab my blur really quick on a low opacity, and I'm just going to blur these highlights I put in her skin a bit here and here. I'm just going to balance out the skin a tiny bit here. Back to blur. Just kind of makes the detail on the face a little bit softer, a little bit less harsh. then you keep some of that marker detail, which is what we wanted, which is why we colored everything in marker, right? And then that's it. That's my Hulk. A little bit of light reflection, mostly comic book style. We did it mostly with the marker. A couple highlights. I used blur to blend a little bit of the stuff here because I just found it was looking a little bit harsh, so I blurred it out. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. There is also a Marvel app from Pixite, and you can check it out and color many more of these fun scenes. I truly enjoyed coloring this. Thanks for joining me today. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.